I'm Russ Gibson, and I'm here to show you my new game called Space Shell. I just want to tell you a little bit about the game before we start. The game is basically a sandbox game out in space. The whole idea is to allow the player to be able to destroy and create his own ships, space stations, and the such. Right now, this is what we got. This is my space station right here. We got space, we got our windows. Every tile you see here is destroyable and has resistances to various different types of damage. And this right here is our hangar bay inside the star base. It's pretty simple. But I would like to take a little bit of time and explain to you kind of a special system we have here. You can see these lights right here and these lines going everywhere. These lines are not here for looks. They actually have function. See, none of these lights here are actually programmed to turn on and off by a switch or by a key press. They detect and see if there's any voltage coming through these lines. So let me describe to you this system. The system is called a energy core system. So let's start off at the core. This is the core. This is a generator. Each system, each ship and station has their own energy core or generator. The generator produces the voltage and it pumps it through the lines. And the lines spread. So basically, it's what I call a power wave. It goes through all the lines just like a wave and affects each object. Now these lines are also destroyable. So if I actually shot this right here and actually destroy this line, the whole system, the whole space station will actually be out of power. And nothing would operate, like this door and various other aspects of the station. Now I want to take a little bit of time to describe this door system here. Behind here is what I have it's a piston motor. It's not a normal motor function that you would find in normal Unity. This is actually specifically scripted. So basically it has two lines that allow voltage to come in. One line will actually extend the piston, which thus extends the door, and one line will actually contract the piston. It'll pull it close or open it. This switch right here will power one and power the other. I'll describe more later on. So let's just continue. And these are also interactive. I forgot one thing. I want to show you what would happen if we turn off the generator. Let's wait till the door starts closing. You probably can't see that because it's probably a little dark on the video. The door stopped halfway and it's not moving. There we go. These switches right here are not scripted to be connected to any motor. It's all based on the voltage flow from component to component, wire to wire. So here's our ship right here. Oh, here's outside. This is not a skybox, by the way. These are actually particles. And we got an asteroid right there in the midst of the nebula. Let's get in the ship. Here's our ship. Simple little scout vessel. Got rooms, components. And here's a door right here I want to show you. This is one of the devices I told you guys I had in the last video, but now I wanted to put it in practice and show you actually how it works. First, let's look at the generator. Here's our generator. It's a smaller version of the station one, because obviously a small ship like this does not require a big bulky generator. So here we go right here. This is a motion trigger, motion switch. It detects when an object enters into the field or exits. What this does is it allows flow to go through voltage if it detects something. If it does not detect something, it actually cuts off the voltage and does not carry down into the piston back here. So this is our system. I described to you a little bit about our power system here, energy core. And this also does the exact same thing as the station's generator out here. So let me show you a little bit about this. Here's a test ship right here. This was actually the very first ship I actually created and started the first version of the energy core system. So let's destroy this now. We got 2 cannons here. Let's see what happens when we pummel it. As you can see, each object does hold its own health and resistance, and it does affect the ship entirely. Alright, well that's the end of the video for now. But before we go, I would like to explain a little bit of future features that I'm working on. The first one I want to explain to you is the engines. Right now the engines are just coded in to add force to certain locations on the rigid body, and thus propelling the ship in one way or another. The way it's going to be designed is the engines will be connected to the generator, which will pull from the generator and create stress on the generator depending on how fast and how much energy you put out. And also where you locate the engines on the ship itself will actually portray how the ship will move. So if I put all the engines on one side of the ship and I activate the engines, the ship will go around in circles because all the pressure is being pushed right here in the corner. Oh yeah, by the way, this is going to be the engineering bay. So that would be up to the player on how he would design the ship. The more engines you add, the more speed your ship can gain. And on that note, I also want to say also that the way the ship turns, as you will notice, is by these nice little, well, these are temporary, but these are thrusters. The ship does not rotate on its own. It is propelled from one side to the other. This one propels it to the right, the other side propels it to the left. And those also will be the same as the engine, the main thrusters. They will be hard-lined in to the power, to the generator, and also will create stress upon the generator. And also the second feature, which I'll be working on, will be these wonderful weapons we have here. These aren't so grand, but what I have in store will be grand. These weapons will be integrated into the generator, so the more amperage you allow the weapons to pull from the generator, which also will create more stress, will determine also more damage that your weapons will be able to output. So technically you would be able to turn off all your lights, turn off everything, even your engines, and conserve all of that amperage just for your weapons if you needed to. The whole ship will be configurable in that way. That's basically kind of what we wanted to go with. So that's what we got, and that's what we got planned ahead of time. So you have that to look forward to on our next video. Also, I just want to say before I go that this energy core system, I didn't go into detail how it's work and how each component functions. It looks kind of like a mess right here. So in one of the next videos I come out with, I'll be explaining just specifically how this system works. Obviously, I won't give any coding away, but the theory is pretty easy and can be duplicated pretty fairly simply. So, thank you for viewing, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks.